It's great to see the 14th KOFFIA Korean Film Festival in Australia is occurring nationwide, but certainly in Melbourne at ACMI from September 7th to 11th. And it's my pleasure to speak to the programmer of the Korean Film Festival, Francis Lee. Francis, welcome again to Movie Metropolis.
Hi, Peter. Thanks for having me every year and then giving me an opportunity to introduce my film festival here. Thank you so much.
Always pleased to talk to you, and I certainly have a special interest in Korean cinema, and I'm so impressed. In fact, tell me how, after COVID and everything, is Korean film progressing?
Korean film industry is still recovering from the global pandemic at the moment. According to the Korean Film Council's report, even with the pandemic stuff going on, the number of film made each year keeps going up. It's kind of interesting, around 800 films per year.
Oh,
But at the same time, because of the pandemic, lots of cinemas had to close down.
uh-huh. And of those 800 films,
Yeah,
obviously we only see some of them in Australia, for
yeah.
example. So many of them would be very localized to Korean only, I suppose.
Yeah. It's truly remarkable to think that we are celebrating the 14th year of a Korean Film Festival in Australia, known as KOFFIA. Um, in the midst of changing media landscape with Netflix and Disney Plus, making their presence known, putting together the festival's lineup has included posted a challenge. However, it's worth nothing that despite these changes, this treasure trove of remarkable Korean films that haven't Australian audience haven't had the opportunity to see. For this year's program, my focus has been on introducing outstanding Korean feature film that are making their Australian premiere. So these are movies that haven't been shown in local cinemas or even on platforms like Netflix Australia. Our aim has been to tap into audience interest, so I can assure you that no matter which screen you choose, it promises to be a delightful experience.
I'm sure it would be, and I know your taste in choosing films is very good, and you
Yeah,
choose a variety of genres, a variety of different types of films,
yeah.
coming from Korea. It's and we should add we're talking about South Korea because I gather
Yeah.
North Korea is still pretty much off limits in terms of knowing what they do in terms of film or anything really.
Yeah, but surprisingly, the film production in North Korea is pretty good. So
Ah.
the government itself, they are very interested in making lots of Korean films as well. But the mostly they're producing propaganda films, so that's why they can't get any attention from the world people's view.
I absolutely understand that. Okay. Well, look, speaking of that issue about North and South Korea, I noticed that one of your main films is a film called 645. Can you talk about
Yeah.
that one?
When you look at the setup of the movie 645, you might immediately be reminded of the film JSA, Joint Security Area, created
Yep.
by director Park Chan-wook, right? But this one is really funny and enjoyable movie. It's totally different story from JSA. It's all about this crazy situation where South and North Korean soldiers come together due to a massive 5.7 billion won lottery ticket that flows across the border. I want to share with you that the movie has garnered much love from both the audience and critics. According to the review from Cinema Escapist, the movie offers an enjoyable, reliable approach to North-South Korea relation. Moreover, the film has been praised for its relatively characters and entertaining stories, which can be grasped by viewers who aren't well versed in Korean politics.
Aha, it sounds very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing
Yes.
it. It's very good. Now, let's go through some of the films that sort of struck me, and I had a look at the list, and I'll be
Yeah.
looking at some of them. But Confession, a murder mystery, sounds like a very interesting film.
Yeah, Confession uh is this 2022 South Korean movie, and it's directed by Yoon Jung-suk. The cast include Kim Yoon-ji, So Ji-suk, Nana, Choi Kang-il, and some others. The story is all about this big shot businessman called Yoo Min-ho. He caught up in the murder case that's like a lock the room mystery. And then there's Yang Shin-e, a lawyer who's got this crazy 100% success rate, and she's out to prove his innocence. The movie follows them as they put together the puzzle pieces of this hidden case, revealing a super intense story. You might say it's sort of based on, or maybe re-imaged from the film, The Invisible Guest. They kind of tweaked it to fit the Korean vibe while still keeping that cool European movie style.
Okay, okay. Again, sounds very interesting. Now, one that sort of appealed to me, which goes through to another end of the scale, a musical drama called Life is Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Life is Beautiful is actually the most favorite film from the lineup in person. Um, this is the first musical film as well as a hero in Korean Film Festival in Australia's history. If you're a fan of 90s K-pop, Korean pop music nostalgia, Life is Beautiful is must see. But even if you have no idea of K-pop at all, you won't feel isolated or neglected because of the subtitles for singing is literally the line as a conversational or emotional expression in the movie. So you will get 100% of what director would like to deliver to audiences. Please do not forget your tissues, otherwise your face will be totally soaked by your tears for 2 hours.
I like that. Okay, bring your own tissues to the cinema. All right.
Yeah, please, please.
Very good, very good. Now, I always like historical dramas, and there's one I noticed about set in the early 20th century about Japanese rule in Korea called Hero.
Yeah, the hero is all about An Jung-gun, the person who fought for Korea's freedom, and how he actually assassinated Ito Hirobumi, who was a big shot in Japan and Korea back in 1909. It's not just a movie. It's magical transformation from successful theatrical musical to big screen. People who watch movie and expert David all said good things about it. They like how everything looks, music, acting, it's all really well done. So if you're into Korean history, culture, or musical stuff, you should think about giving Hero a watch.
Okay, certainly will. That sounds good. And another topic I love in many films is politics, and one called The Devil's Deal sounds an
Yeah,
interesting one.
the Devil's this movie is from same people who made the gangster, the cop, the devil,
Ah,
and the outlaws. The director Lee Won-tae and the producer Jang Won-suk, they hands for this one. It's really well made, exciting film that looks at revenge, politics, and all the bad stuff in Korea. People who watch the movie, whether they were expert or just the regular folks, they will say good things about it too. They like how you can't guess what's going to happen next for real. The characters are interesting, and the way it shows the 1990s Busan, which is my hometown, feels real.
ah.
So if you're into crime stories, politics thriller, or just like Korean movies, you should totally give Devil's Deal a try.
Okay, again, sounds very good. I noticed a film titled Gentleman, which is not to be confused with a British film that had a similar title recently. But
Yeah.
this is about a private detective.
Yeah, yeah. Gentleman is really enjoyable and thrilling movie that mixes crime, action, and comedy together. It's about this private detective guy who everyone thinks is prosecutor. And then he actually teamed up with a real prosecutor to solve this super puzzling case involving a powerful lawyer. There are so many unexpected things happening in movie, and also lots of funny part and smart conversations. So if you're in a movie that's going to keep you having fun and curious, you should definitely give a gentleman watch.
All right, all right. They're all sounding actually very interesting, and I'm sure audiences will want to see them. And another one that looks really quite compelling is about a woman exploited at work, a film
Yeah,
called Next Sohi.
yeah. Next Sohi. So you see, Next Sohi is the South Korean drama film from 2022, directed by Jung Uri, and then starring Bae Na and Kim Si-eun. The whole story revolves around this high school student named Sohee, played by Kim Si-eun, who's all focused on business stuff. And then she has to do some on-site training at the call center. Then there's sorry, then there's this lady detective Eugene, played by Beduna, who started looking into Sohee's death that happening right after. The movie kind of takes its inspiration from a real case where a girl is in similar training program ended up taking her own life. The movie sort of captured the feeling and the way Korean teenagers are kind of used by the system. People say it shows how they're both emotionally and systemically taken advantage of. And you know what's cool? The film's been getting praised for having characters we can relate to the telling interesting story. Even if you're not deep into Korean politics, you will still get what's going on. Bae really shine in the movie, showing us how we might feel and act when faced with this kind of situation. Her acting is just a top notch. You should watch, yes.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds really, really quite interesting indeed. I noticed another film, and speaking of sort of politics in a sense, about some tourists in Afghanistan meeting the
Yeah.
Taliban, the Point Men.
Yeah. Is it okay? The appointment is not screening in Melbourne, I
Ah,
guess.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So do you want me to still like
Yeah, still talk about it. I'm interested to hear about it. Yeah.
okay the the gentleman is the based on true story that captured like the Korean missionary people from the Christian church went to Afghanistan, and they all kept captured by the Taliban's. And then the the public civilian from Korean government went to the Afghanistan and to negotiate with the Taliban. It's based on real stories, so it feels like a pretty serious, but like because of the humor and comics, a little bit of like hint of humor and comic, it doesn't feel actually really heavy and tragedy for whole 2 hours. But also like in the end, you will find out how Korean government and people from the Korean government worked really, really hard to save all our citizens of Korea, and then you will see the enjoyment of the end. You will enjoy the ending of the movie.
Okay, okay. Well, hopefully that will turn up some other way for audiences
Yeah.
in Melbourne. That that would be good. And is it a thriller called The Night Owl? Is that screening in Melbourne?
Yes. Night Owl is actually the opening film.
Ah,
Um, So the Night Owl is it really shows the old royal time of Joseon era well. Like you get to kind of see how the kings and they lived back then. And what's cool is this movie mixes history with a bit of imagination. Picture this: a royal doctor who can't see, right in the middle of the murder mystery with the Joseon prince. The tension, especially when the king and the brave doctor face off, it is so intense. You can't help but be totally into it. So because of all this, I thought it's a movie. It's a movie Australian movie fans would totally be curious about. That's why I choose it as the first film to kick things off.
Okay, it sounds like a very good choice. Yeah, it sounds intriguing.
Thank you.
Now, here's a film about celebrities, which sounds rather unusual. A film called
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah. Switch is like a fantasy comedy flicks where a superstar actor and his manager totally swap lives on Christmas.
Ah,
Imagine a mix of gut-busting laugh and heartwarming moment. Director Ma Tae-yoon, the captain of this ship, and he's got Kwon Sang-woo as Park-kang, the big shot actor, and Oh Jung-se as Jo-yoon. His manager trying to keep it all together. After a wild night, Park wakes up in Jo's shoes and Jo, well, in his Park's superstar shoes. Talks about switcheroo. Now, don't get me wrong, the story got a bit of the classic Hollywood vibe, but it spices things up, and then that's where the fun begins. Between the laughter, the movie sneaks in question. What's the real deal behind the happiness? Kwon and Oh bring the magic. Their chemistry is like a dynamite, and making those funny and touching moments hit home. Through in Lee Min-jung as Soo-hyun Park's wife in the topsy-turvy reality, and you've got yourself a cast that nails it. Switchy divides into identity and what fills your cup, mixing laughter with some real deals reflection. Sure, it might remind you of a few other tales, but this one's got the Korean twist, and these guys pull it off. So it's your dime for slice of Korean cinema with heart and humor. Give Switch a spin. It's experience that stick with you even after the credit roll. So
okay.
please stay until the credit roll.
Oh, yes, yes. So never leave a film until the credits are finished. I always say that because so many films now have
Yeah.
post-credit sequences. And Switch sounds a little bit like Freaky Friday and those sorts of films.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, very good. And of course, romantic dramas are also popular with audiences. And you've got two, Nothing Serious and Someone You Loved.
Yeah. Nothing Serious is actually one of my personal favorite from this year's lineup as well. These days, the method of dating and connecting with the others have undergone quite a transformation. Some individuals might hold a pessimistic view about meeting new people through this kind of platform. However, Nothing Serious demonstrates that the manner in which we encounter our true love is inconsequential. What truly matters is finding the right person. Through humor and well-crafted narrative, this film delves into the most intricate subject in human history, relationship. Just like I did, I hope the audience gets the chance to reevaluate the meaning of relationship while watching this movie. And then the other romance film, I would describe this is not really romance film, but this is drama because also this is one of my personal favorite films from this lineup. Someone You Loves delves into the life to former lovers as they navigate life after their breakup. They grappling to reshape their relationship, moving from being partners to becoming almost strangers, and all the complex space in the middle. Reading the plot summary, it might not seem extraordinary, but trust me, if you ever been in a relationship, this movie is going to strike your chord with you. I'd really suggest these films to everyone who's wrestling with the relationship challenges. There's something to be learned from it, a chance to uncover the issue that might be causing problem and work together fixing them.
Okay. Okay. Well, very good. I mean, it's quite a diverse range of films there, Francis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have I covered all the films screening in Melbourne, or is there one I've missed?
One miss. Yeah. You let me remember.
Remember. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
The film
About
called Remember.
Alzheimer's. Yes.
Yeah. So Remember is this action film from South Korea in 2022, directed by Lee Il-hyung and starring Lee Sung-min and Nam Joo-hyuk. It's like a remake of Atom Egonian's 2015 film Remember, and it's set against the backdrop of the Korean-Japanese relationship during World War II. The story is about Han Pil-ju, played by Lee Sung-min, an old guy in his 80s with Alzheimer's who lost his whole family back in the Japanese colonial era. He's all about getting revenge before he forget everything. And there was this young guy in his 20s, played by Nam Joo-hyuk, who helped him out. The movie gives a sort of new spin to some familiar concept. It even has things to say about how colonialism and war can mess things up. You know, how the consequences keep going on through generations. The twist is the story is seen from the viewpoint of old man with Alzheimer, who's all caught up this revenge plan he wants to finish before he kicks the bucket. The movie is mainly for folks who's into watching suspenseful thrillers about playback and all that stuff.
Okay. Again, very good. All right. What an interesting lineup of films, Francis. So tell me about the website, how people can book tickets at ACMI and so on.
Yeah, please visit our website, koffia.com.au, KOFFIA.com.au. There is all the information about film programs, and also you can book your ticket through our website.
Okay, and it's September 7th to 11th at ACMI. Now, I must ask you, just to conclude, Francis, have you seen the film Past Lives?
Not yet. Unfortunately, I have no chance to see it yet. So as soon as it's on cinema, I'm gonna run to the cinema and watch it.
It is a wonderful film, an American-Korean co-production. It's just fantastic. Yeah.
I'm glad the Korean cinema is being worldwide in the format of the like a Korean production as well as American production, and produced by a Korean American director or Korean Canadian director. I think Korean cinema is becoming globalized.
Well, there are some very good Korean film directors who've been so successful, and of course, I still remember Parasite so well, and
Bong Joon-ho, yes,
and Burning, I think, was another one, and there've been some really terrific Korean cinema. So I'm so glad that your festival highlights films that audiences deserve to see. So. So thank you so much. We've been speaking to Francis Lee, who's the programmer of KOFFIA, the Korean Film Festival in Australia, September 7th to 11th at ACMI. Thank you so much for talking with me.
Thank you so much for having me again. I hope to see you again next year as well.
Absolutely. All the best, Francis.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All the best. Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.